views, receiving data, and error handling. So we will see one by one. First is REST. So what is REST architecture here? So REST stands for representational state transfer. It is web REST is a web standard based architecture and uses HTTP protocol. It stands for representational state transfer and it is a web standard based architecture and it uses HTTP protocol. It revolves around resource where every component is a resource and resource is accessed by a common interface using HTTP standard methods. There are some resources that are accessed by some common interfaces like HTTP standard methods are there, some protocols are there. By using that, we can access that resources. So that REST was first introduced by Roy Fielding in 2000. A REST server simply provides access to resources and REST clients. REST client accesses and modifies that resources using HTTP protocol. Using that REST, we can provide access to resources and REST client access and modifies that resources using HTTP protocol. Here, each resource is identified by URIs or global IDs. By using that global ID or URIs, we are going to identify that resource or the resource that may be a REST client. Okay. So REST uses various representation to represent a resource like text, JSON, XML, but here JSON is the most popular one in for that REST. Here some HTTP methods. So there are four methods that are commonly used in REST based architecture, which are the get, put, delete, and post. So here get means it is used to provide a read only access to a resource, and put is used to create a new resource. Delete is used to remove a resource, and post is used to update a existing resource or create a new resource. Here you can see the architecture, a simple architecture for a REST API. Here you can see these are the clients. That client sends HTTP request and wait for response from the server or you can say from the database. Okay, it sends the HTTP request to that. That request is handled by that REST API and that request goes to that database and server returns the response to that client. Here you can see that HTTP protocols we have seen that get, post, here patch. Here you can see update user, HTTP get all users, HTTP post new user, HTTP patch update the user. Here you can see this typical HTTP verbs. Get means read from the database, put means update or replace row in the database. Then patch, here this request for this client. Patch means update or modify row in the database. Here HTTP post is for create a new record in the database and delete is for delete from the database. Yes, see you can see that REST API. It receives HTTP requests from the clients. These are the clients. It receives the request from these clients and does whatever the request needs. Whatever does the request means, like if you want to create that user, then you can send the request in the sorry in the form of HTTP post or user, new user. Here our REST API queries the database for that REST API or that HTTP request. Then response. Response means when that REST API has what it needs, it sends back a response to the clients. This will typically be in JSON or XML format. That is the response to the client. Then next one is Express.js. So here Express.js is a web framework for Node.js. It is fast, robust and asynchronous in nature. So what is Express.js here? It is a fast, assertive, essential and moderate web framework of Node.js. It is a web framework of Node.js. So you can assume Express as a layer built on the top of that Node.js that helps to manage a server and routes. So it provides a robust set of features for to develop a web and mobile applications. So using Express.js, we can develop web and mobile applications. So there are some features of this Express framework that is it can be used to design single page, multi-page, and hybrid web application. Using that Express.js, we can design that single page, multi-page, or hybrid web applications. It also allows to set up middlewares to respond to HTTP request. Middlewares for connecting to that database. Whenever client sends any request, we have to connect that request to that server or to the database by that middlewares. So there are some middlewares are there in Express.js. So it also defines a routing table which is used to perform different actions based on HTTP method and URL. It allows to dynamically render HTML pages based on passing arguments to templates. So why should we use that Express.js? Here, Express.js supports JavaScript, and we know that that it supports JavaScript, which is widely used language that is very easy to learn, and it is also supported everywhere. So therefore, if you know about JavaScript, it will be really easy that we can do the programming using Express.js. So with the help of Express.js, you can easily build different kinds of web applications in the short period of time. Within a short period of time, by using that JavaScript or with the help of that Express.js, we can easily build different kinds of web application, mobile applications. So here Express.js provides simple routing for requests made by clients. It also provides a middleware. As I said, it provides a middleware that is responsible for making decisions to give the correct response for the request made by that HTTP clients or REST client. So here, without Express.js, you have to write your own code to build a routing component. If you are not using that Express.js, like in Node.js, we have to write our own code to build a routing component, which is time consuming and tedious task. But if we are going to use that Express.js, it is it is it will be easy that or it is a simple task for writing that code for or routing that component code for that task. Then your Express.js offers simplicity, flexibility, efficiency, minimalism, and scalability to the programmers. So that's why uh, we can use we are going to use that Express.js. It also has the advantage of powerful performance as it is a framework of Node.js. That Express.js is the framework of Node.js. That's why it's giving a powerful performance. Yeah, Node.js carries all the executions really fast with the help of event loop. We have seen that event loop that avoids any kind of inefficiency. That we have seen that what event loop does that it carries all the executions. Okay, there we have seen the row of thread here that is blocking and non-blocking stages. Okay, so the powerful performance of Node.js and the ease of coding using Express.js are the most popular features for web application developers. It helps to that web application developers, the performance of Node.js and the ease of coding of that Express.js. So here, since we are going to write that Express.js in JavaScript, so we can build websites, web applications, or even mobile apps using that Express.js by using JavaScript. So what is the need of Express.js? Yeah, the most valuable asset in any business in time. That means we have to do the task or complete some task within the time. Okay, so here you can say on the top of that, many programmers have to have the pressure to build that efficient web applications in the short period of time. So, but because of complex coding, it is not possible. Or after that, we have to test that. So it takes some time. So here, that Express.js becomes lifesaver for the programmers. Why? Because it can reduce the coding time by half, and still it helps us to build that efficient web applications. It is not only reduces the time, but it also reduces the effort. Why? Why it reduces the effort and time? Here you can see that to build that web apps with the help of its different features. What are that features like? As we see that we have seen that like we are going to use that Express.js in JavaScript. That means it JavaScript allows us, or that Express.js allows even beginners to enter the field of web applications development. So because it supports JavaScript, that means we have seen that JavaScript is very easy to learn for the peoples. Okay, so Express.js allows, or that why it is easy to write the code, because it uses the ready-made functions of Node.js. So that's why whenever we are going to write the code for something like, then we can easily import the modules or the functions of that Node.js in the Express.js. So that's why it requires less time for the coding. So here Node.js is event driven, and thus it has the ability to handle